And with this situation, we decided to dig deeper. I talked with Denora Bloom, a university researcher at UC Riverside, who specializes in mass shootings and what drives people to commit acts like this. What Bloom has studied with past shooters generally boils down to one thing.
I find that isolation is a big factor, that when people stop having groups of friends that check in on them in person, and I emphasize the words in person, it leads to a lot of problems. What we saw with example with the Sandy Hook shooter was that the support group that he had only met remotely. They met through their game, and so there was no way people were keeping tabs.
Bloom also explains that in many cases the shooter feels what's called toxic masculinity, where they feel their masculinity is threatened after much rejection. They feel entitled to affection and they lash out with violence. So obviously we don't know the exact background with the Tehama County shooter, but Bloom told me there's a couple types of mass killers. The disgruntled citizen mass killer, someone who feels wronged by the world and wants to take revenge, and the psychotic mass killer, someone out of touch with social reality and may take psychological pleasure in hurting others. Just to reiterate, you see this suspect falling into both of those types of mass killers.
Yes, I see the disgruntled aspect in that if the neighbors don't like him, they're probably excluding him. He's going to start being isolated. There's no one really making sure that he's integrated into the community or that he's regulated by them.
And Bloom says when it comes to these shootings, the media tends to focus on only the psychological state of the shooter, when we should also be focusing on the social experiences that led up to that point in time. We have more coverage of what happened today coming up.